Weekend's almost here because, well, it's Friday, 20th day of September, 2024. I'm Dan Kuntz, your host. Thanks for starting your day with us. It is 57 degrees here in the big city, a couple of high clouds around there. Little breezy. It's very windy at the Pangborn Memorial Airport. It's about a 25-mile-an-hour wind. Not quite as windy downtown. Pangborn is, after all, kind of exposed. Gets a little breezier up there than it does down here. And it's going to be a little windy today, right up until about sunset, about 7:15 or so tonight. Then the wind will die down. Pressure gradients are tightened up a little bit. There's a weak cold front that's coming through. It's coming through right now as we speak. Going to cool us down to more seasonal norms today, tomorrow, and then we start warming up on Sunday, and we'll be right back up into the mid-80s by the time we get to the early part of next week. And, of course, this is the last couple of days of summer. This is it. You got today, you got tomorrow. The autumnal equinox is Sunday morning at 5:43. I will be sleeping when autumn officially comes, but it's going to feel like summer most of next week. But this weekend, looking pretty good. Details are coming up. There's a lot of news to get to. There's a lot of sports to get to. This is the time of the year where there's just tons of sports. Baseball's in the stretch run. Mariners won, by the way, yesterday. College football well underway. Seahawks are playing. High school, fall sports all over the place. We're going to be leave off the field at the Apple Bowl tonight. Eisenhower Cadets in town to take on the Wenatchee Panthers. We'll have that game for you. Pregame at 6:30. Kickoff at 7 o'clock. Lots going on. It's one of these scenarios that we have. We have 5 pounds worth of programming and a 4-pound bag to get it in, but we'll do it. And in the back half of the program, it's time for year 2 in the Western Hockey League for the Wenatchee Wild. After 5 preseason games, the games that count start tomorrow. The 68-game regular season begins tomorrow at the Town Toyota Center with the Seattle Thunderbirds in town. It's 5:09 night. Austin Drade, the broadcasting voice of the Wenatchee Wild, will be joining me in the back half of the program. Lots of good stuff. Let's do it. Let's begin with our tour around the valley, courtesy of Localtel's Sky-Fi division. I think you know what that is by now. It's high-speed internet with no fiber. It's a dish-related kind of a thing. We got dishes at tower sites all over north central Washington, out of the Columbia Basin, all the way up north, pretty much almost anywhere you go. There is a Sky-Fi tower site, and that's how the whole thing works. And since we have the towers, we put the cameras on them. And there we go. Sunrise this morning was at 6:46. Sunset tonight, 7:01. That's 12 hours and 15 minutes of daylight. We'll go on the back half of the 12-hour mark on Wednesday. So even though the autumnal equinox is Sunday, we won't go past 12 hours of darkness until Wednesday of next week. And by the way, yesterday's high, 81. So of the 19 days that have come and gone in the month of September, 16 of those 19 days so far this month, our daily high temperature has been above normal. It's been a warm September. Off to Lake Wenatchee we go. Check this out. Check out this view. Isn't that cool? That's pretty awesome. About 10 minutes ago, it was even prettier with the sun coming up and kissing those clouds. It kind of had a peach salmon color to the clouds. Still kind of does in a way. Just beautiful. And the sun's just starting to bathe the very tip top of a Dirty Face Mountain as we look out over Lake Wenatchee. Still one of my favorite cameras. Let's say good morning to Cashmere from high atop Stein Hill. Looking back towards the Wenatchee Valley as the sun begins to climb. So down there somewhere is Cashmere. Trust me, it hasn't gone anywhere at all. And since they moved the Bridge of Sportsmanship game from Friday, October 4th to Saturday, October 5th, that's the Wenatchee Eastmont game, we're going to be in Cashmere on Friday, October 4th for the Cashmere Royal game. Everybody's looking forward to that one, and our cameras will be there. That'll be fun. And let's head on up to Chelan and Bear Mountain. And there it goes. That's how it looks like. Seems to be less clouds up in the Chelan area. Right now in Chelan, you are checking in at 55 degrees with no wind up there. The wind is going to be coming for the day today. It's going to come through the Cascade Gaps, kind of kick up through the Waterville Plateau. It'll be a northerly wind later on today. It's going to be very windy in the Okanagan Valley, by the way. And then it's eventually going to work its way down here, but it will die down once we get to about sunset. And the next week, boy, is it going to be warm. Crazy warm next week. It's going to start really on Sunday. We're going to be in the lower 80s on Sunday. We'll be in the lower 80s on Monday, mid-80s, Tuesday, Wednesday, before the high-pressure ridge will be jolted out of position by the time we get to Friday of last week. So it's kind of crazy, but this is a very, very warm stretch of weather that we've been having. Again, it's going to be cooler than normal today, but not much, and then we go right back to above normal starting on Saturday. But It's been warm. No getting around that. Let's do this in detail from the National Weather Service. Here we go. Sunny and a little breezy today. 74 our forecast high. Our normal high is 76, so just a little below normal. Most of the wind will be in the mid to late morning hours all the way through the afternoon hours, and then the hourly forecast is telling me it should die down right around sunset, so it shouldn't be too bad. 48 for the overnight low tonight with a little bit of wind. It is a cool front coming in. Saturday looking great. Nice day to wrap up summer. 78 degrees, lots of sunshine, very little wind on Saturday. Clear Saturday night, 52 for the overnight low. High pressure rebounds on Sunday. There'll be a couple of clouds. Outside of that, we warm right up to 81. 81 on Monday, 84 on Tuesday and Wednesday, pushing record highs for Tuesday and Wednesday before we cool down a little bit Thursday. And it looks like the long-term forecast says it's going to be pretty unsettled on Friday and Saturday of next week. And again, we say goodbye to summer at 5:43 Sunday morning. All right, that's your forecast. If you grab your cup of coffee and come right back to your television screen or whatever it is you're doing, we'll bring you the news in 2 minutes. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Enjoy the sounds of summer from your very own pool and spa. Blue Lagoon is now scheduling pool installations for this summer. Call today to schedule a free consultation for a custom San Juan fiberglass pool. And let the experts at Blue Lagoon handle the construction, installation, and regular maintenance. Turn your boring backyard into vacation paradise this summer with industry-leading San Juan pool. No need to go off the deep end. Relax knowing you're in great hands with Blue Lagoon Pool and Spa.
Riley Gaines, the All-American female swimmer at the University of Kentucky, is our guest speaker for the Chelan County Republican Lincoln Day Dinner and Fundraiser, September 22nd at 6 p.m. at the Wenatchee Convention Center. Riley's call to action is to defend and protect America's daughters from competing with and sharing locker rooms with biological men. Join us for an exciting evening with Riley Gaines and support our local candidates. VIP event at 5, dinner at 6. Go to Chelan County Lincoln Day at gmail.com for tickets.
Paid for by the Chelan County Republican Central Committee.
The family at the Epladolin want to help your loved one feel at ease in their new home environment. Epladolin offers beautiful one-bedroom and studio apartments. Residents enjoy 3 delicious home-style meals a day, laundry service, housekeeping service, and encouragement to make themselves cozy in their new home. Epladolin welcomes your family to come and visit their family. Epladolin, independent and assisted living. They make the complicated easy for you. Call today for a tour.
Do you hate getting called by Medicare telemarketers? Well, this October, your phone is going to be ringing off the hook because we will be experiencing a huge Medicare change. Now, for the last 20 years, Springwater Insurance has been helping those of you on Medicare. So just say no to those telemarketers by not answering their ads. Instead, call a local agent like Springwater Insurance who's been helping for 20 years. So give us a call at Springwater. We can meet at one of our 5 offices or give us a call.
57 degrees here in the big city. Will be considerably cooler today, only about 74. Breezy most of the day. Winds die down tonight. Beautiful weekend and downright warm come the first week in fall, which is next week. It's 9 minutes after the hour. Jurors in the trial of Ului Te'olio were shown some pretty grim photos on Wednesday of the crime scene where his wife Peggy died by bludgeoning in 2018. They also viewed photographs from her autopsy during the 3rd day of Te'olio's trial for first-degree murder. The 74-year-old Rock Island man accused of killing Peggy in the trailer home they shared. A forensic pathologist testified that she died from repeated blunt force trauma to the head, besides suffering 5 broken ribs and evidence of strangulation. Witnesses testified that Peggy had previously reported instances of domestic violence at the hands of her husband and was planning to leave him. Douglas County prosecutors rested their case yesterday. The jury could begin deliberations as soon as today. Not 1, but 2 Wenatchee men are now facing charges of hate crimes for what police say were unrelated incidents motivated by racial bias. On Sunday, 72-year-old Curtis Wyatt Truitt allegedly lunged at 2 men with a knife while they sat in their car outside the Cascadian apartment building in downtown Wenatchee after one of them attempted to enter the apartments. While doing so, police say Truitt yelled, Mexicans get out, end quote, and later told officers the men had displayed Mexican flags on their car. Well, police say it's not true and that one of the victims lived at the Cascadian. Truitt was charged this week in Chelan County Court with 8 criminal counts, including first-degree assault and commission of a hate crime. Another man, 61-year-old David Darrell Haugen, was arraigned Wednesday on felony harassment and hate crime charges for allegedly threatening another customer at the North Avenue Laundry on September 3rd. The two men got into a dispute over a laundry hamper during which Haugen allegedly used racial epithets and threatened to shoot the victim. Haugen remains free on his own recognizance. Truitt is confined to the Chelan County Jail on a $50,000 bond. A Wenatchee man who stabbed another man during an altercation in Pennsylvania Park sentenced Wednesday to 33 months in prison. 24-year-old Zachary Justin James Craig pled guilty to counts of second and third degree assault in the December 2023 incident. Wenatchee police say he apparently attacked the other man in a dispute over drugs and jealousy over a woman's acquaintance, stabbing him under the right armpit. Judge Robert Jordan handed down the sentence. Craig has been held in the Chelan County Jail since his December arrest. He still faces trial next month on another attack in which he and 2 other men allegedly beat up a fellow inmate back in June. Sheriff's deputies say they have apprehended a Wenatchee woman suspected of stealing mail from post boxes on both sides of the Columbia River. The Chelan County Sheriff's Office says the 33-year-old woman was spotted Wednesday evening going through mailboxes in the 3000 block of No. 1 Canyon Road and then driving away in a black Toyota Tacoma. She was allegedly seen again collecting mail in the 3000 block of 10th Street Southeast in East Wenatchee. She told one witness she was an undercover police officer. Police caught up with her at a Wenatchee tavern at about 10 o'clock after she herself called Rivercon to report, quote, suspicious activity, end quote. Deputies are seeking 8 charges of stolen mail possession. The suspect remains in the Chelan County Jail the last we checked. And Taco Loco owner Salvador Murillo announced on Facebook that his restaurant will be closing its doors come Saturday. Taco Loco is one of 4 businesses on Wenatchee Avenue that are going to be vacating this year after they got word of a redevelopment plans by Widener Apartment Homes that would include the demolition of the existing structures and the creation of 2 new ones. Murillo has been on a month-by-month lease since April of this year, but was notified roughly 30 days ago that he needed to vacate the property in this month. He says he'll keep searching for a possible space to relocate to, but if all else fails, his backup plan is to reinvent the restaurant as a food truck. That's the news on what's been a busy week around the newsroom, but that's what we got the guys to do, and the gals too. They're good at what they're doing, and we'll have the news for you tonight. At 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock, 5, 6, and 10 on television. That doesn't work in your schedule, or do you have one of those smart TVs, or you just, you're uncabled, or whatever the term is, I forgot. Our news will be up and running on our homepage, ncwlife.com, our Facebook page, our YouTube page. We have an X, we have an Instagram, we got an app, and we have an email address. So something out there you think warrants our attention, get a hold of us. Send us an email, news@ncwlife.com. An adult portion of sports, but we're not going to check ID, is next. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Hey there folks, Blueberry Carrie here to invite you on out to experience Blueberry Hills. Of course, the food is fabulous, like our cheese blintz, our famous French dip, our legendary Eggs Benedict, and unforgettable burgers. But we're more than just great food. People come from all over the world to experience what's been called one of the best destination restaurants in the Pacific Northwest. So come on out and see what all the fuss is about. Blueberry Hills in Manson. It's where the world is coming to.
There's no place like home, because home is where we're totally comfortable. It's where we can be ourselves and let our guards down. It's where we make memories, and we're always imagining new ways to keep it totally comfortable. Carrier, total comfort, totally happy.
Turn to the experts, Carrier and Alpine Air. Heat and air, call Alpine Air.
Hello, 3 tickets, please.
Oh, the Discovery Center is free to visit.
So you're telling me we could look at the fish for free?
Yep, that's free.
But how much is it to drive the steamboat?
Todo es gratis.
So you're telling me that we could go play on the playground?
Still free.
It's free.
Exactly. Gratis, gratis, gratis. The Discovery Center at Rocky Beach. It's free.
Downtown Wenatchee, something for everyone. If you're craving Asian comfort food, Steam Panda on Wenatchee Avenue is the restaurant to enjoy quality food. House-made soup, dumplings, sushi, ramen noodles, and salads to pair with your favorite boba tea. Stop by Steam Panda today.
Watermill Winery Tasting Room has become a very popular downtown venue. Their wine club offers spectacular value at affordable prices. Watermill, open daily across from the convention center.
Downtown Wenatchee, it's all here.
"16 minutes after the hour, the Mariners scored early. The pitching did their job. Very good defense, too. And they got a 3-2 win over the Yankees yesterday afternoon at T-Mobile Park. Seattle scored 3 runs at the bottom of the first and then got some nice defense and nice pitching to get the W.
To the gap, left center field. And a drop. Oh, my goodness. Dominguez had it and just totally gacked it. Mariners will benefit. Sunglasses and everything, and he couldn't make the play. Fly ball right field. It backs up Soto. He's got room. Rosarina watching. Taggy. He comes. Digging for third. Raley in there safely with a dive. 2-0 Mariners. Way to pick up that run. JP has the edge at 2-1. 2 out. Runners at the corners. Finds a wide open left side. Nicely done. 3-0 Mariners. RBI for JP Crawford, his 37th. Goes the other way. They're going to wave the runner. Here's the throw. Got a chance. Got a chance. Put it on him. Got him. Luke Raley, big fender, showing it off.
Man, look at Luke Raley doing it on both sides of the ball with the bunt in that first inning, but then showing off that arm as well. Cal Rowley, good job staying in there.
1-1 on Chisholm. Drilled deep to right field. Raley back. Track. Wall. See ya. A 2-run home run by Chisholm. And it's 3-2 Seattle.
Guy desperately needed that one. He's really been struggling over the last couple weeks. He had a chance last night. He took a first pitch fastball right down the middle, and usually when hitters are struggling, they start becoming guess hitters and letting good pitches go, but he jumped all over that one.
The 0-2 pitch. Swing, did he go? He did! And the Mariners rally back! What a comeback victory after multiple mistakes. They come up big here today with a 3-2 victory, and will go on the road with a chance to rip off maybe 9 in a row. Why not?
Yeah,
3-2 final.
Why not rip off 9 in a row? But got on Clark Schmidt early, putting up a 3 spot in the first inning.
Dan Wilson said it started with the offensive outburst in the first inning, and then Logan Gilbert settling in to a little groove.
Another 1-run game, no shock there. I thought today was outstanding rebound as we've seen before. 3 runs in the first, huge. Getting the bases loaded there, and then being able to push 3 o'clock cross early, and then I think Raley, with a great throw, I think in the second inning to gun down a runner to preserve that 3-0 lead. Logan kind of took it from there, handed it over to a bullpen that's been very, very consistent for us, and they were able to slam the door. So a great win tonight or this afternoon, and one we need.
Seattle is off to Texas for the first of 3 games over the weekend with the Rangers. Game 1 tonight starts at 5:05 on Root Sports Northwest. Houston's magic number to clinch the division is down to 5. They beat the Angels 3-1. In the meantime, Toronto blanked Texas 4-0. Pretty quiet in baseball yesterday as far as games played. In the wild card, the Twins continue losing. That makes the 3rd and final spot in the AL wild card race within grasp. Minnesota fell to the Guardians in 10 innings, 3-2. The Tigers were also idle, so both the Tigers and the Twins are tied for the final playoff spot. Seattle is 2 back at 78-75. The Red Sox continue to lose hope. They lost to Tampa Bay 2-0. The Washington State Cougars will go for a 4-0 start in the college football season. They are at home tonight. A Friday night game, Cougs hosting San Jose State at Martin Stadium, 7 o'clock on the CW network. That's channel 11 for you folks who have local tel. as your subscription. Eastern is on the road. They'll be at Montana for a noon kickoff with the Grizzlies. That'll be on ESPN+. The Huskies have another home game and hopes to bounce back from the Apple Cup. They're actually playing this one in Husky Stadium, taking on Northwestern, 4 o'clock on FS1, and Central Washington is at Texas A&M Saturday at 5 on, well, no TV, I'm afraid. Seahawks, they hope to remain unbeaten. They have a home game against Miami. On Sunday, Seattle's defense will be facing the Dolphins' backup quarterback. Taylor Mitchell gets the start. The game kicks off at Lumen Field Sunday, 1:05 on the Columbia Broadcasting System. And the rest of the NFC West, they all play on Sunday afternoon. Arizona will host Detroit at 1:25 on Fox. The other 1:25 offering on Fox has San Francisco taking on the Rams in Los Angeles. Wenatchee's Big Nine opener, center stage on the NCAA Life Channel tonight. After an 0-2 start in non-league play, the Panthers host the Eisenhower Cadets tonight to leave off the field at the Apple Bowl. Head coach Taylor Mitchell hopes the momentum gained in the second half of last week's game against Mount Si carries over to tonight.
Huge confidence builder for our kids. Running the ball, we had some really nice pass plays there in the second half. I think our kids understand that we faced two really good opponents, and I think our kids are fired up. Be back in the Apple Bowl, get rolling with our league schedule, because all of the goals that we set as a football team were focused on our league. Sure. Again, we're battle tested and we're ready to get rolling with Eisenhower tonight.
Panthers have a junior quarterback. His name is Ryan Branham. He says it's nice to have some balance to the offense in last week's game despite the losing effort.
Been able to kind of lean more on the run to set up the pass game. Lake City, Finn Matheson was out, and it kind of messed things up for us a little bit because we had to go strictly to the pass game. Right. So yeah, having that run and pass game there is definitely good.
Coach Mitchell says Brandon continues to make strides week by week. He's looking forward to seeing what he can do against the Cadets tonight.
I thought, again, he's improved from our preseason, week 1 to week 2. Saw a big improvement there also. Stretching the field vertically, I thought looked good last week. We were there in the fourth quarter. It was a 2-possession game, and he threw a couple just beautiful footballs down the football field and just hit off receivers' hands. It's like, hey, if we make that play, it's a 1-possession football game mid to late in the fourth quarter, and that's all you can ask for when you're playing against a good opponent.
Branham says the first 2 weeks have set the Panthers up for success tonight against Ike.
Yeah, well, those preseason games definitely set us up, especially Mount Si. And I mean, if we perform like we did against Mount Si, I think it'll be an easy game for us.
You think so?
Yeah, we're gonna run the ball and pass it quite a bit, and we're gonna score a lot. So.
Tune in for the pregame show, 6:30, with the handsome and talented Grant Olson, the even more handsome and more talented Brandon Harley, and Eric Granstrom right here on the NCAA Life Channel. The rest of the Big Nine. Eastmont's Big Nine opener is on the road at Davis tonight. They lost, of course, to a game that we televised last week. They lost to Post Falls 14-7. Eastmont coach Jay Foster says there were plenty of lessons learned.
Early in the game, the nothing, we get the 50 or 55-yard run, we bust off, and then instead of going in for a touchdown, it comes back as a touchback, and then they go 80 and score on the next series, and so there's a 14-point swing right off the get-go, and then it seemed like in the second half we started to get some things going, but we just shoot ourselves in the foot, and you can't do that. We've got to cut out the silly mistakes, the silly penalties, and be able to win games like that. It was a very winnable ball game.
Foster says Davis is no pushover despite being 0-2 to start the season. He admits they are his kind of players.
They've got 4 or 5 kids that can get it done. The quarterback's got a great arm. I think his disadvantage is he's not very tall, but he's one of those kids that, ball just pops out of his hand. So they'll cause us. They always have guys. It's just a matter, can we keep them contained? Usually if we take care of business, because we take care of business up front.
Eastmont has had some success on the ground through the first 2 games, but nothing like they're used to having in the past. Junior running back Dax Dixon says they're following a unique motto from offensive coordinator Jay Toller going to Yakima tonight.
We're going to run the ball. We're going to kick the tree. That's our motto, KTT. So we're going to keep doing it until it works.
Okay, kick the tree. Okay, who's saying is that?
Toller.
Okay, so what does that mean?
Kick the tree. That means we're not going to stop until it breaks them. So we're going to keep running, and then eventually we'll pop one through. So
see the leaves start falling, and then
yes, sir.
Timber, right?
Yep.
Eastmont kicks off at Davis at 7 o'clock. Moses Lake will open their Big Nine campaign. They'll be in Sunnyside. West Valley has a non-leaguer at home against Sela. Cashmere will take its 2-0 record on the road. They'll be down in College Place, just outside of Walla Walla. 6 o'clock kickoff tonight. By the way, we've added their game with Royal on October 4th to our schedule. We're looking forward to that, but that's down the road. Cascade will host Natchez Valley at 7, while Luke is at Keona Benton. Wapato hosts Zilla. The Knights, by the way, are on the road at Connell tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. Let's see. Let me pass this along. Prosser defeated East Valley, tight one last night. The final there was 36-35. Ephrata visits Ellensburg tonight at 7 o'clock in CWAC football. Quincy will host Toppenish. Grandview is on the road at Othello. Chelan will host Blaine tonight at 6 o'clock. We mentioned Natchez Valley will be in Peshastin, and Omak will host Colville also at 7 o'clock. 2B football tonight. Okanagan has an intriguing matchup. They'll be at Linden Christian at 6. Lake Roosevelt will host Brewster at 7. Manson will be at Liberty Bell. Tenaska will host Warden tomorrow at 5 o'clock. 1B football. The score from last night, Welpenit defeated Bridgeport 38-6. For the 1Bs tonight, it's Orville visiting Columbia Stevens at 3:30. Aniat hosts Touchy at 7. Tequila Rosela travels to Moses Lake Christian. Waterville Mansfield is at Odessa. And coming up tomorrow on the soccer pitch, there's a lot going on. Omak will host Bridgeport at 11 o'clock. Wardens at Tenasket. Orville will host Pateros. Ephrata visits Grandview at noon. At 12:15, it's Ephrata against Lakeside at a 9 Mile Falls. They'll be in Quincy. Cashmere will host Wapato at 1 o'clock. Highlands at Okanagan. Moses Lake will host West Valley. Eastmont is at home against Sunnyside. And volleyball. 24 teams, including a lot from our area, will be in Ephrata for a varsity volleyball tournament. It starts tomorrow at 9 a.m. Manson will host a round-robin event with Adna, Brewster, and La Center at 10 o'clock. Cashmere will host Wapato at 11:30. Bridgeport is at Orville at 1:30. Tenaska hosts Warden at 2. Wenatchee has a non-leaguer against Linden tomorrow afternoon at 2:30. And those are just some of the games that people are playing. I'm a little lightheaded. That's a lot of sports. Your obscure holiday of the day today. Today is National Pepperoni Pizza Day. And again, I saw this yesterday online. There are a lot of pizza joints, pizzerias are going to be offering specials today if you like pepperoni pizza. And a lot of people like pepperoni pizza. More than 36% of all the pizzas ordered in this country feature pepperoni as a topping. Americans like pizza of all kinds. About 350 slices of pizza are consumed every second in this country. That comes out to about 100 acres of pizza a day, 21,000 slices of pizza a minute. That's a lot of pizza. 93% of Americans order a pizza at least once a month. New York City, of course, home to the first ever pizza joint in this country, and it's still there. Lombardi's. It's a grocery store in Manhattan, and then in 1905 they started selling pizzas, and they still do all these years later. Pizza really became popular in this country after World War II. Pizza was still around, but it really took off after World War II because of all the GIs that were stationed in Italy. They grew to like pizza a lot. Then the war was over. They were shipped back to home, and they said, hey, pizza's good. Thank you to the doughboys, if you will. It's National Pepperoni Pizza Day today. Yes, there are specials out there. You're going to have to do your own homework. I just simply didn't have the time. Today in history, 29 minutes after the hour, September 20th, 1969. 55 years ago today, shortly after this photograph was taken, the Beatles signing a contract with their new manager, Alan Klein. John Lennon met privately with Paul McCartney and Ringo Starr and informed them that he would be leaving the Beatles as soon as all of their business entanglements, and there were a lot, were all straightened out. He was going to leave the Beatles. He told Paul and Ringo that. George, by the way, was not there. He was in Liverpool visiting his mother. John told George the news the next day. This is something that had never happened before, at least to written knowledge. This is the 53rd anniversary of the double hurricane, September 20th, 1971. There is the path of Hurricane Irene, which weakened after making landfall in Central America, but then it regained enough strength to be renamed Hurricane Olivia. So it was Irene on one side of the continent, and it became Olivia on the other side of the continent. It's the first known hurricane to cross from the Atlantic into the Pacific. Now, it may have happened before, but they weren't really tracking hurricanes back in 1412 or whenever, but that's pretty remarkable stuff. You probably don't, I don't know if you remember this or not. I certainly do. This is the 51st anniversary of the famous Battle of the Sexes at the Astrodome in Houston, Texas. Billie Jean King beats Bobby Riggs. $100,000, winner take all, 50 million people watch the match on TV. This is the kind of television spectacular you don't see anymore. Bobby Riggs was 55. Billie Jean King was 29. No wonder he lost. The Battle of the Sexes happened on this date in 1973. And on the exact same day, not too far from Houston, as a matter of fact, singer Jim Croce, his guitarist Murray Mulehausen, and 4 others died when their light aircraft crashes on takeoff in rural Louisiana. They did not know what was going on after the crash, because this makes no sense. The visibility was excellent. It was a clear runway. How could this possibly happen? Well, after the investigation, it was revealed that the pilot of the airplane had severe coronary artery disease, and he had jogged from his hotel to the airport about 3 miles, and they think he probably suffered a heart attack during takeoff, which caused the twin-engine Beechcraft to crash into a pecan tree at the end of the runway because they couldn't figure out there was nothing wrong with the airplane. Jim Croce losing his life on this date in 1973. 44 years ago today, the 27th running of the Woodward Stakes at Belmont Park. Just outside of New York, the Belmont Stakes is one of the biggest horse races in the world. And Spectacular Bid is off and running in this, the 1980 Woodward Stakes, and there is Spectacular Bid, winner of the Kentucky Derby and the Preakness. And around the back turn, and there's no, where's the other horse? There is no other horse. It was a walkover. Originally, it's a stakes race, which means the owners of the horse put in the pool money, and then, of course, you know, first, second, and third is the payout for the bettors, but all the horses dropped out one by one, and the day of the Woodward Stakes, the last 2 horses dropped out, but they still have to run it to make it all nice and legal, so Bill Shoemaker got on Spectacular Bid and won the race by himself. They still had to win the race, and as you might imagine, they didn't take any bets. Spectacular Bid wins the Woodward Stakes at Belmont Park because nobody else ran. That was on this date 44 years ago today. This is the anniversary of the NFL strike. The American football players in the National Football League go on strike. It lasted 57 days. It wiped out weeks 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. It started after week 2 of the regular season. They finally got all back together. They had weeks 11 through 16. They played a bonus game for week 17. They bumped everything back 1 week. So there was only 9 regular season contests for each NFL team. Now they play 17, which is too many if you ask me. So they did, for this season only, 3 divisions in each of the 2 conferences would be eliminated for the purposes of determining playoff qualifications. Basically, there were no divisions, just the top 16 teams, 8 in the NFC and 8 in the AFC would go to the playoffs. It was pretty cattywampus. That started on this date in 1982. I remember that well. And 26 years ago today, Cal Ripken Jr. takes himself out of the starting lineup and does not play at all. Baltimore loses to the New York Yankees at Camden Yards. His consecutive games played streak comes to an end after nearly 16 years at 2,632 games. Here is a snippet of the broadcast. Yes, the crowd was very quiet. That's a remarkable achievement if you think about it. Just incredible. 16 years, 2,632 games. Cal Ripken sits down. He said he's probably tired. It's 35 minutes after the hour. Let's do some birthdays. I love, and I still love, growing up, I loved Rocky and Bullwinkle, Dudley Do-Right, Peabody and Sherman, George of the Jungle, Tom Slick, Super Chicken. Jay Ward created all of them from Jay Ward Productions. I still watch Rocky and Bullwinkle and Dudley Do-Right all the time. Peabody and Sherman, yeah. Jay Ward, born in the state in 1920, but the cartoons are still good after all these years. Actress extraordinaire and Hollywood legend Sophia Loren is 90 years old today, and the first woman ever to win the Academy Award for Best Actress for a foreign language film. She is 90 years old today. And Dale Chihuly is 83 years old today. Glass blower extraordinaire. In 1976, he was visiting England. He was involved in a head-on accident, went through the windshield. His face was severely cut by the glass. His left eye lost his vision. He recovered. He continued to blow glass, and then 3 years later, while body surfing, he dislocated his right shoulder and can no longer blow glass, but he's the teacher that most people go to when they say, I want to learn how to blow glass. And it's spectacular stuff. It really is. Happy 83rd to Dale. How's your AC holding up? Man, it's been working hard this year, hasn't it? It's crazy hot. One of the hottest Julys on record. June wasn't exactly cold. Now there was August. Is it holding up okay? It's going to have to work a little harder. You saw the forecast for next week. Hang on there, AC. If you still think you need it, and you probably do, give Alpine Air a call because it might be acting a little tired right now. For heat and air, call Alpine Air. They are our platinum sponsor. Still to come, Mike Mignotti has an opinion. It's a brand new one. You've never seen it because we've never aired it. And then Austin Andrade, the broadcasting voice of the Wenatchee Wild, joined me. Where did the time go? The 68-game regular season begins tomorrow for the Wenatchee Wild. The Seattle Thunderbirds are in town for 5:09 night at the Town Toyota Center for Saturday night. Austin will join me when we come back. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Flessenow is a small village in Germany, the heritage home to the Bruders family. Today, the Bruders family call Leavenworth home and make award-winning wines that celebrate the American dream. New Flessenow Cellars has spectacular views anywhere around the property, so bring your friends to taste award-winning handcrafted wines and seasonal specialties. New Flessenow is perfect for any celebration. From their family to yours, stop by this weekend and experience the charm for yourself.
A ductless unit from Carrier can keep anyone comfortable. Take Shelly, for instance. She finds me time in her new attic-turned-home gym. And with her Carrier ductless unit, the temperature is always perfect. No matter how intense her workout gets. Carrier. Total comfort, totally happy.
Turn to the experts, Carrier and Alpine Air. Heat and air, call Alpine Air.
At Highline Homes, we know that kids can come home at any stage of life. Whether your kids are coming home or coming back home, we've got the perfect custom-built home solution for you and your family. Highline Homes has up to 100% financing packages available through our select lenders. View our many floor plans at highlinehomes.com or visit one of our model homes in Oregon, Washington, California, or Idaho. Then you're well on your way to building that perfect dream home for the next phase of your life.
Nice crib.
Nice crib. Highline Homes. On your lot, on time, built right.
Building. It's in our blood. Building something out of nothing. It takes heart, grit, and hard work. At One Way Construction, our crew is our family. With decades of contracting experience and our in-house design team, we bring a unique perspective to building. We know that if we work together, we are capable of reaching heights that are impossible to reach alone. The possibilities are endless.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. So, my wife Rosie and I go to the gym 3 days a week, and I do some time on the treadmill. Good for my heart. But while I'm exercising, I watch videos of female Karens being contacted by the cops for their entitled behavior and eventually arrested. Now, their antics and exclamations of protest sometimes just make me laugh out loud. And Rosie says she likes to hear that because although she's glad I'm getting some physical exercise, she knows that the best heart medicine is laughter. Well, with that in mind, here's one of my favorite Rodney Dangerfield jokes. I could tell that my parents hated me because my bath toys were a toaster and a radio. This is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and that's my opinion.
At Local Myth Pizza, we believe in real food, freshly prepared with only premium ingredients. Our cheeses are imported from Italy. Our sauces, dressings, and even our sausages are made in-house fresh daily. Featuring Northwest craft beers and 30 Chelan Valley wines and ciders. Family fun and amazing food. Eat local, drink local, and be local at Local Myth Pizza.
Come see why Sunset Magazine says you can't beat Local Myth Pizza.
Are you dealing with a pest or weed issue and you just don't know what to do?
We use the best pest control methods approved for areas with kids and pets.
Whether it's rats, mice, ants, or spiders,
or something else altogether,
we provide the coaching and solutions you're looking for.
And you can know that your dollars are supporting a local, family-owned and operated business.
Allow us to help you get back to living healthy and pest-free. Harvest Valley Pest Control.
Now there are even more reasons to meet at the Pybus Market. Outdoor dining and tastings, the fabulous Farmers Market, Saturday artisans on the concourse, and your favorites all week long. No matter the reason, it's always time to meet at the Pybus Market. Pybus Market, where community meets.
When you've been in business for 40 years, it's because you understand change and you put members first, always. Now Works is announcing a change in their membership model. Up to 6 people on one membership that you can mix and match. The more people, the bigger the discounts. Introducing the Works shared membership model. One membership, friends and family and flexibility. Works, the cleanest, friendliest, most helpful gyms you and your friends will ever join.
Welcome back to the programs. The games that don't count are done. From this point forward, starting on Saturday the 21st, it's games that count for the Western Hockey League. Specifically, our gang right behind us, the Wenatchee Wild. They open up against the Seattle Thunderbirds this Saturday night here at the Town Theater Center. Austin Drade, our good buddy, back again, making his first appearance on the show. It's nice meeting you.
Good to see you.
How you doing?
Good.
You like the sound that we were hearing back here? We were setting up the skates and the sticks and the pucks hitting the glass and the ice and the mud and the blood and the beer.
You know, we were just talking about that off the air. It makes things more real that the season's really here now, isn't it?
It is, because the last we've done a couple of conversations with Austin over the last couple of months, and either there was another event going on or they were on the road or whatever. So this is the first time we've actually been able to see the team practice, and it's an entirely different vibe when this place is empty and they're skating, as opposed to when there's 3,000 warm bodies in here.
It kind of is. It's kind of a quiet excitement, I guess. I mean, you're a hockey fan. You come into this building and you hear the game going on. You want to poke your head in. I want to see what's going on. What's the skinny? What's this team look like? But no, it's definitely a different feel in here. But it's still exciting to walk in and know, okay, it's hockey season, and this is actually happening right in front of me right now.
When you're in your offices, right across the Kendale booth, and you can hear this going on, the ambient noise of practice going on, does that kind of pump you up a little bit?
A little bit. A lot of times I'll keep my ear open just to see if I need to get down here and talk with one of the guys after practice, catch him for a feature or something. A lot of times I'll listen for the sound of the puck or the guys getting checked down here, because some of it carries up to the office, and when I've got a need to get down there, it's kind of that feeling of it's a little too quiet. Did I miss something?
They went 2-3 in the preseason. The Wenatchee Wild did. We scored 23 goals. We allowed 24 goals. But again, those games don't count. Yet, in a way, from a roster standpoint, building a roster, deciding the lines, they do count.
Absolutely. You're not looking for wins and losses. You're not looking at. You're not dialing in on a matchup for that preseason. As a coach, I talked with Don about this before the first preseason game against Tri-City. You're focused entirely on what your team is doing, what your individual guys are showing you and bringing to the table. So that's the most important thing during the preseason, is the individual basis and how your team is coming together, how they're learning concepts, how they're learning new terminology and new systems under a new coaching staff. But you're not so worried about wins and losses. Obviously, they tell a little bit of a story for the public on how this game unfolded. But as a coach, you're focused on other things.
Now the games count, and it starts Saturday with the Tri-City with the Seattle Thunderbirds coming to town. Before we get to that, 3 players who are not down there are going to be making the roster. We're pretty sure they went to rookie camp. I talked about Miles Cooper, Josh Fluker, and Kenta Isogai. They haven't been with the team for the last, week or so?
They have not been with the team, about a week and a half now. They took off about Sunday, Monday to head off to Colorado and Florida's rookie camps. A lot of the teams, there was one up in Penticton that Winnipeg played in. Kind of a showcase or a jamboree format where I think Colorado is in El Segundo, where the Kings practice out in Los Angeles. They'll bring in 4, 5, 6, 7 teams to basically play jamboree games against each other and show off a little bit what they have to offer for the NHL scouts, for the NHL coaches and the front offices. And those guys have been outstanding here at this level. Kenta was not on the central scouting list, but he had a tremendous season last year. If he had been his first year of draft eligibility, probably would have been on that list. But Miles Cooper, Josh Fluker, they were being looked at very, very closely by NHL scouts, and were on the central scouting list at the end of the year. So even though they weren't picked in the draft, there were still a lot of NHL teams looking at them, and they earned a chance to get a second look from a team with those trips out to El Segundo and Nashville, where Florida and Kenta Isogai were this past weekend.
And a lot of Wenatchee Wild alumni will tell you this. By being a part of the Wild family, being a part of the Wild network, and that I mean you're playing or going to play for Coach Don, or you've been involved with the Bliss Littler and Chris Clarkey, that carries extra weight, because the scouts are saying, if you're good enough for these guys who know what they're talking about, maybe we should take a look at what their roster has.
Absolutely. Bliss and Don have been around the game. They're very well connected, and they're very well respected in the hockey community and the organization as a whole. So when somebody hears Bliss or Don say, I think you should take a look at this guy, it does carry extra weight. That respect carries over to, hey, if he says something, I should probably pay attention to it.
Is the 5 games about perfect for a preseason schedule? They played 2 quick games, and they had a jamboree. They played 3 games in 3 days last weekend down in the Tri-Cities. Is that about the perfect mix to get the guys ready to go?
I think so. Probably 2 or 3 might be a little short to take a look at the guys. But I think when you start talking about, I don't know any teams that played 7 or 8 preseason games. I know the NHL teams will play right around in that range, 6, 7, 8 games. And for an 82-game schedule, I think that makes sense for them. For a 68-game schedule, where you kind of know what you're bringing in, and you're kind of trying to smooth off the rough edges at the back end of your roster and make those final cuts. I think 5 games will probably tell you about what you need to know without going overboard. 7 or 8 game schedule, you probably don't need it for a 68-game season like this.
There's going to be some fan favorites back again for another year with the Wenatchee Wild, and you know who they are. I don't need to mention them. Let's give some love to some of the new guys who are going to make this team, who have drawn your attention, that fans need to pay attention to, because they're going to be a significant contributor to the success of this team.
I think one of them is probably a guy that our fans got a little familiar with at the end of last year, and that's Kalen Jodry. He's grown this year. I know a lot of our fans have already remarked to me, gosh, he's even taller than he was last year. He's grown several inches, and he's, I think, 6'2", 6'3" this year, and is starting to add some speed to the skates as well. So I think he's going to be one of the first ones that you really take note of. Noah Szymanski, who's our second import this year, is in that spot that Rogers Bukarts was in last year. I think he's jumped in and and made a good impact at the center spot during preseason. I think those are two of the guys among many that you're going to want to keep an eye on here this season. And some guys that, one of the guys that was around last year, just not on our team in the WHL, is Reed Andreessen. He brings over 200 games in of WHL experience. Not a ton of size, but a lot of smarts and a lot of skill back there on the blue line. And when you're talking about guys like Graham Swarta and Carter Prasovsky that we lost to the overage at the end of last year, having a guy like Reed is going to be a big help, size-wise or not.
Between the pipes, we're going to be okay, you think?
I think so. You got Daniel Hauser back again this year.
He had a lot of injury issues last year, didn't he?
He did, but he looked good in the preseason. He made some solid saves, picked us up a couple of wins against Tri-City and Portland. So he'll be back this year. He's looked solid. Brendan G., we haven't gotten much of a look at him yet. He's dealing with some injuries on his way back for preseason camp and now for the regular season. But he's got that first year under his belt. He knows how things work in the league now. And I think Noah Stenvig possibly as a third option will be a good one. We saw about 20 minutes of action from him last year in relief, and I think he'll be a solid third option when we need him this year to get things started.
I know it's too early because nobody's played any games that count yet. The Thunderbirds will be here to kick things off on the 21st. We'll talk about the promotions and all that in just a little bit. Seattle has a great tradition of outstanding hockey in the WHL. They didn't make the playoffs last year. They were in a rebuilding mode, and a couple of the other teams that you think should be good every year really weren't. Who's the? I mean, you know, you've already been on the record that Everett looks good.
Oh yeah.
Who else do we need to keep an eye on that might jump up and surprise folks this year in our division?
You know, in the U.S. division, Seattle's probably the only team that we didn't get a chance to see in the U.S. division in the preseason, but I would keep an eye on them. It'll be interesting to see how Portland does rebuilding from all the experience that they had last year. You remember they had, I think, 12 or 13 19-year-olds last year. Those 19-year-olds obviously become 20-year-olds this year, but there's a limit of 3 on those. So they've had to make a lot of roster moves this year and kind of right-size that roster in terms of the age. So it'll be interesting to see. Mike Johnston knows what he's doing down there, always builds a good team, but it'll be interesting to see how that process has come through for them and what final product will look like starting this week.
It is 509 night here, Saturday night. Opening night is always huge here. A lot of special things going on. First 1,000 people get a magnet thing that people love anyway.
Yep.
To stick on your fridge. What else is happening on Saturday?
Magnet schedule will be for the first 1,000 fans in the door. Thanks to HR Spinner, we'll also have 100 free kids tickets. So make sure while they last, get a hold of us in the office, stop into the office and get some of those claimed. Bring the kids out and maybe introduce them to the sport if you haven't taken them out to a wild game or a hockey game yet. But those are the big ones for this year. You mentioned 509 night. We're celebrating the business community. Our local businesses really keep this valley running and keep our team running in terms of sponsorships and support. So we'll have a lot of local businesses with tables and booths down on the concourse during the game. They want to meet you, and we want our fans to meet them and get to know the local businesses here in our part of the 509 that really keep this valley going as strong as it is.
And the usual promotions are back. David out on the ice with the microphone, chuck a puck, all that stuff that people love between periods.
Don't change what's working.
Yeah, good. Smart move. Smart move there. Seattle Thunderbirds on the 21st. It's kind of a strange schedule early on, Austin. I'll let you dive into this real quick before we cut you loose. We got Seattle on Saturday the 21st, and then we don't have anything for 6 days, and then we have 3 games pretty butchly tight together.
Yeah, I think 5 of the first 6 are at home, and we've got a 7-game homestand again to start off the month of November. So a lot of opportunities to see these guys out on home ice early in the season. One thing that I kind of remember from last year, and I think that last year was probably more of an extreme example just with the late changes to the schedule, but when you have 11 teams during in each conference, and those teams only cross over and play 1 game apiece against each team in the other conference, and usually those road games are all played in one block, it can change the dynamic of the schedule because, normally you'd like to see, you've got 22 teams. Why wouldn't you have 11 games every Friday, every Saturday when you're going to have those huge crowds? Sunday crowds have gotten pretty big here, especially in this building last year. But when you've got an odd number of teams that play within that schedule, that can change things a little bit. So we've got a few early Fridays off. We've got one Saturday off in mid-February.
That's extremely rare.
That's extremely rare. So we had a lot of Saturdays off last year because of how that schedule worked out and the odd numbers of teams in each conference. But this year, I think the schedule is going to look a whole lot more regular. We've only got 3 weekday games this year, and one of them is on New Year's Eve. When you want to be playing, you know you'll have a good crowd. But we will have a few Fridays off early in the season, and I think that has a lot to do with that.
Don't forget, it's a Saturday game, which means 6 o'clock is when they drop the puck, or shortly thereafter. So keep that in mind. That way you can have a nice dinner, come down, enjoy the game with your friends and family, and still go out and enjoy the vibrant Wenatchee Valley nightlife right after the game. Austin, did we touch on everything?
I think so.
All right. Austin Drade, the guy who invented that little lamp that lights up whenever somebody scores a goal. He invented that. He gets like 1/3 of a cent every time somebody scores a goal. He's just rolling in dough. Good to see you go wild, and we see you next week.
Definitely.
Austin Drade, everybody give him a big hand. Pause for applause, and we'll be right back.
How do you think like an entrepreneur?
I have had it in mind starting my own business. This is all really good to know right now. I am currently making a vision board. I am talking about my well-being, my personal finances, and habits that I would like to work on and to improve myself to be a better entrepreneur.
Discover a level of comfort you never thought possible. Discover stressless seating at Boswell's. Designed to harmonize with your body's natural movements, it's the premier destination for relaxation and rejuvenation. Right now, take 10% off all stressless recliners, sofas, tables, and ottomans. Boswell's, 2915 Easy Street in Wenatchee.
Highlander Golf Course and Grill, located in East Wenatchee, offers terrific views and challenging play for golfers at every skill level. From the golf course to the grill, you don't need to be a member to dine in style and play golf too. Highlander's well-groomed fairways and greens keep it difficult, yet friendly for your regular rounds of golf or a new destination for you and your out-of-town friends. Contact the Highlander Pro Shop today to schedule your tee time, outing, or tournament. Open 7 days a week, where everyone is welcome to play and eat.
Still a little windy, although it's died down a little bit. It was quite gusty about an hour ago when this show started. Still going to be dealing with some wind throughout the course of the day until about sunset, about 7:15, 7:30. The wind should be dying down just in time for high school football. And next week, going to be unseasonably warm. We have a chance, as a matter of fact, to break some record high temperatures, especially Tuesday and Wednesday. It's been an unseasonably warm September. Of the 19 days that have come and gone so far this month, 16 of the 19 days so far this month, our daily high temperature has been above normal, oftentimes well above normal. Not so much for the next few days. In fact, today actually be below normal from the National Weather Service. That way, if you don't like the weather, you can blame the government. Sunshine today, high of 74, our normal high is 76, so just a little bit below normal. And again, breezy today. A pretty consistent northwest wind, about 10 to 15 miles an hour. Wind will dying down once the sun goes down tonight, 48 for the overnight low. No real wind on Saturday. Very pleasant, looks good. I have 78, lots of sunshine. This a get out and enjoy kind of day. Sunday too. For the first day of autumn, don't forget the autumnal equinox is at 5:43 on Sunday morning. And then we go into the first full day of summer, their first full day of autumn. It's going to feel like summer with temperatures well into the 80s Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. That's it for us. Have a great weekend. We'll see you Monday. Take care. Bye-bye.